Let's take a look at the third chakra, Manipura. Manipura can be translated to sparkling jewel. This is the energy that governs your self-esteem and self-worth. The basic need here is self-identity. This can show up as how you fit within your community. This can also show up within your career path. If you look at the lower two chakras, we had the relationships with family, the relationships with other. Well, the third chakra, we're moving on to find who are you? How do you fit into the world? What is your purpose? What career path should you be taking? Should I go right or should I go left? Having clairvoyance of who you are and having an understanding of your value and of your worth is what governs the third chakra. The second chakra is the energy within our relationships and things that we should be able to let go of. But what happens when something occurs that you manifest as your own or you take in as identity? That then shows up within the solar plexus and how you present yourself within the world. Let's say, for example, you had an upbringing where your parents called you, fill in the blank, an idiot every day of your life. Well, then that is going to appear in your body language. That is going to appear in the decisions you make and how you see yourself fitting in. So family traditions and values, relationships with others, those can have a manifesting effect on your identity. Now, the great thing about working within the energetic system and building awareness here is that you can determine, are there limiting beliefs? Are there limiting stories that you want and need to perhaps let go of in order to find clairvoyance for your path? Now, this energy is a little bit more predominant physically than the lower two chakras because this shows someone's confidence. I mean, you see someone walk into a room, you have a conversation with someone, you can tell, you have a little bit of a sense of, is this person egotistical? Are they shy? Are they confident or not confident? You can tell within someone's body language what kind of energy is showing up within their third chakra. When someone is overactive, you can generally see a rib flare. So the floating ribs pop out, it lifts the chest, lifts the chin, gives an arch to the lower back. What does that kind of body language say to you? Now, the opposite end, when someone is underactive or perhaps even blocked within the third chakra, that kind of body language shows up as the bottom ribs compressed down, which hunches the upper back and the shoulders roll forward. The hands are generally covering the center. What does that kind of body language say to you? So we're looking for a balanced approach, of course, when we look at all of the energy centers within the chakras. So you can immediately start working on the energy of the third chakra just by improving your posture, just by changing your body language. So when the sides are long and lifted, we also want to tuck the flared ribs, pull them back in, find some strength within your abdomen. The energy governed within the third chakra is self-esteem, self-worth. On a physical level, you can see that the pancreas is associated with the third chakra based on its location. The pancreas is responsible for our ability to digest and distribute nutrients out to the body. So malfunctions can show up as digestive disorders, not being willing to take in food. This can also show up as ulcers and diabetes. The challenge within the third chakra is shame, humiliation. The third chakra, if you look up some of the basic information, it gets kind of confused and translated to confidence. And confidence is just not enough when we're looking at self-identity. With my son, he was about 6 or 7 years old going into day camp. And we had just moved to a new neighborhood, new kind of day camp, and they take them out for swim day. And they say, okay, for those who can swim, get in this line. For those who can't swim, get into this line. You guys are going to be in 2 different parts of the pool area. So he gets into the line with the swimmers, and they ask him, can you swim? And he says, oh, absolutely. And he gets up to the edge of the pool, and they say, okay, pass the swim test. You need to go from point A to point B. Well, he gets right into the pool with all the confidence in the world, steps in and sinks to the bottom. Sinks to the bottom because he had the confidence that he could swim, but he didn't have the swim lessons and the knowledge to clearly know if he could swim across to the other side. Now, I share that story, and I want you to know that immediately, that is my fault as a parent. I gave him the confidence to think that he could swim because when we went swimming, we spent time in the shallow water. He told me later on that he was waiting to tap the bottom of the ground so he could push off and doggy paddle. And in his mind, he thought that that was swimming, or they were looking for something completely different. So the clarity behind can you swim wasn't there. So I share you that story because it's not enough to just have confidence. We need to have some clarity behind who we are, what our strengths are, and the willingness to want to learn more and the willingness to want to be better. So within your self-identity, how are you feeling here? Take a look at your body language and what shows up here for you. Now, someone who is balanced within the 3rd chakra, that'll show up as passionate about life, joyful, very comfortable being their authentic self. Someone who is blocked or underactive within the 3rd chakra, that can show up in different forms. So the first form I want to take a look at is someone who is blocked or underactive. Physically, you can see that when the rib cage is compressed down within the abdomen. You might see malfunction show up physically with someone having a belly or someone being concave. Concave, not being able to take in food, not being able to take in nutrients, has the stomach sunk in, right? That kind of compression can really show up as many different things psychologically. One of the things that shows up psychologically is indecisiveness. When you are not confident and you are insecure about things, you might have the desire to please others or just rely on others without having the confidence, self-worth, and self-value to make a decision of clarity on your own. The other extreme, being overly confident, the ribs are flared and totally exposed. That kind of light might outshine others. It might create a tunnel vision mentally that your way is the right way and might have a disconnect when it comes to relating and seeing others. So sometimes the light can shine too bright and dim out others. We want to find a balanced approach here where how can you be confident, how can you show your self-value, your self-worth while fitting in within the community, while reaching your goals or setting yourself out onto that career path that you are passionate about. The words of affirmation here are, I can, I can. Now immediately when I hear the words, I can't, what's like, whew, if you made up that mind already that I can't, well then it surely you won't. So I can is a really important factor here. That's not to say that things aren't difficult. If you are out on your path and you know what's right, you know what you want to do, but things get difficult, instead of saying, well, I just can't do it, or I don't know, I'm an idiot, I can't do it. Well, why don't we flip that language and say, this is really tough, I might need some help, but I can do this. Now within your workbook there are some reflection activities to go ahead and give a try. The first one on there is a reflection exercise of things that you can do to try to strengthen the energy of the 3rd chakra. Within your language, instead of using I, let's see if you can catch how many times you use the word I, and that could just be thought patterns, but that can also, it will also show up within your language when speaking to others. Can you flip your language to we? And I'll give you an example here. Let's say within the household, you want to set a meal plan up for the family for the week. That could be presented as, hey hon, I am going to make a meal plan for the week and go grocery shopping. Okay, that's an independent project now, right? Or we can make it a little bit more inclusive by changing that I to a we. Hey, we should make a family plan, a family meal plan for the week. Let's go grocery shopping together. Okay, well now it's more inclusive and the family might be more willing and able to be part of this plan and help out just by switching that language. It gives you a little bit of momentum to work with the goals and accomplish the things that you set your mind out to. As there are other activities that I have laid out to try and incorporate within your physical practice, within your meditation practice, and then at the bottom are lifestyle suggestions on how to increase the energy within the third chakra. One of them within the lifestyle approach is if you are feeling unconfident, let's build up that energy and take a power stance. A power stance is when you put your fists on your hips, your chest and chin up, your stomach muscles strong. We don't want that rib cage to pop out, but pull that back in, find strength within your belly, and stand up tall. That is the power stance. You even take the Captain Morgan approach and bring a foot on up. This is something great that you can do before giving a presentation, before taking a big test, is standing tall for 2 minutes with your fists on your hips. Now within that section, I want you to go ahead and try and think of what are some other things that you can do to bring some confidence in a balanced approach, bring some confidence into your life. Go ahead and give it a try.